For hundreds of years now, the Russian civilization and state has always struggled with three major geographic nerfs to their playstyle. Most of their land is a completely inhospitable frozen wasteland, which limits their development. Most of their coastline is covered with ice for a majority of the year, which limits their access to the world's oceans. And their borders to the west are on a huge open field that's easy to move soldiers across on either side, which makes them particularly susceptible to invasions coming from the west in Europe. These nerfs are probably going to become lifted. This is how climate change will likely transform Russia once again into a global superpower. For the vast majority of countries in the world, climate change is going to be an absolute disaster by the end of the century. If you draw a line across the planet along the northern borders of the United States and Canada, just about every place south will be a significant loser by the end of the century. This is because human productivity has been found to be at its highest somewhere between an average annual temperature of 11 and 15 degrees Celsius. Any higher or lower, and productivity for civilization begins to decrease. Right now, this zone for maximum human productivity exists across the continental United States, Europe, Anatolia, China, Korea, and Japan, which helps in part to explain why most modern and wealthy civilizations today exist here. But throughout history, this zone for perfect human productivity has been located elsewhere, and in the near future, it's going to change again. Migrating further north this time. Because of global climate change, by the end of the 21st century, it's believed that this productivity zone will instead stretch across the Arctic through Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Scandinavia, and most significantly, Russia. As a direct result, the economies of the continental United States, Brazil, China, the European Union, and India will all struggle with adapting to this change, while the economies of the Arctic will be given a tremendous opportunity, and none of them are in a better position geographically to exploit this than Russia. Russia controls by far the largest amount of territory in the Arctic. 53% of the Arctic Ocean's coastline is Russia, and more than half of the Arctic's population lives in Russia. Much of this is taken up by Siberia, Russia's massive and infamously cold Asian territory. Siberia has been underinhabited for centuries. Only 33 million people live here today, only 1/5 of Russia's total population, and the warming climate zone creeping north is presenting Russia with a never-before possible opportunity to exploit it. It's estimated that there may exist up to $2 trillion worth of completely untapped mineral resources in the Russian Arctic in the form of rare earth elements, zinc, iron ore, silver, nickel, copper, coal, gold, uranium, diamonds, and much more. And already, Russia is considered to be one of the world's great energy superpowers. She possesses the world's largest proven reserves of natural gas, specifically natural gas that Russia has historically bet the backbone of its economic and geopolitical future upon. However, the Russians can potentially supply enough energy to power the entire European continent with for decades if ever fully developed, and the warming climate will substantially improve Russia's capability to do so. If humans continue emitting carbon dioxide at high rates, roughly half of Siberia farming by 2080, Russia will accept millions of climate refugees from the rest of Asia, who could be easily used to settle and populate the vast and currently empty Siberian frontier, and transform it into perhaps the world's greatest economic juggernaut of the late 21st century and the early 22nd.